Hey everyone, I want to talk about something serious today. We need to talk about what's going on with YouTube. There is some, I'm going to call it soft censorship. Basically, they're demonetizing videos that have anything to do with Muslims. At least on my channel. I've only had 4 videos demonetized for not being advertiser friendly. Now, I cuss in almost all of my videos. But so do a lot of big channels, which I don't even think is a big deal. It is in their community guidelines. You're not supposed to cuss and swear, but most people do. So I don't even think that's even an enforced rule. However, out of the 4 videos that have been demonetized, one of them was financial rape culture, which I assume is because it has the word rape in the title. It would be interesting to know whether or not feminist videos about rape culture are demonetized for having the word rape in the title, but I digress. The other one was Dying Alone, which I don't understand why that was demonetized. It was originally claimed because I used that video about the girl with 2 heads, but eventually the claim was released for fair use, but then they demonetized it. So I guess that was the sour grapes on their part. But the other 2 videos are the ones I want to talk about. The 2 videos that were demonetized were my video on ISIS and Islamic terrorism, and the system of passive gynocentrism, wherein I explicitly talk about statistics involving Muslims supporting radicals as an example to contrast against women's support of feminism. And the thing about the second one is I was extremely fair towards Muslims. I wasn't accusing them of all being radicals or all supporting ISIS. In fact, I explicitly state in the video, it is a minority of Muslims that support ISIS. And those that do support ISIS come from very specific regions within the Muslim world. The Muslim world is like 1 billion people. Now, there are certain countries that are more radical than other countries. And you know what they are. They're the countries where all the terrorists always come from. You know, you never hear terrorists coming from Lebanon or Jordan or places like that. They're always from Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, stuff like that. You know, we know where the bad Muslims are. We know where the good Muslims are. You shouldn't paint the entire Muslim world with the same brush because of a few bad actors in certain countries. And for that controversial view that not all Muslims are terrorists, my video was demonetized. Now, I went over the, quote, advertiser-friendly guidelines, and here's what they are. So according to YouTube, things that could make your video inappropriate for advertisers include sexually suggestive content, including partial nudity and sexual humor. Yeah, I do that sometimes, I guess. Not the nudity part, although I know you ladies would love that. Next is violence, including displays of serious injury and events related to violent extremism. Now, this may be what they're talking about. But, I mean, I'm just talking about it in the way that the news would talk about it. I'm not showing pictures. I'm not showing a guy getting his head sawn off on Al Jazeera. Inappropriate language, including harassment, profanity, and vulgar language. Guilty. But a lot of different channels do this. Almost every channel I listen to cusses. So, I mean, this seems like one of those rules where everyone breaks it and then they just selectively enforce it if they want to. Promotion of drugs and regulated substances, including selling, use, and abuse of such items? No, I don't do drugs. Then lastly, controversial or sensitive subjects and events, including subjects related to war, political conflicts, natural disasters, and tragedies, even if graphic imagery is not shown. Again, maybe this is what they're talking about. But here's my issue. Now, I'm not sure if this is a response to Charlie Hebdo. Like, is Google worried that there's going to be an incident? Like, someone's going to take offense of some video some YouTuber makes and take it out on the Google executives? Now, this isn't just me. I remember last year, Sandman got a couple strikes on his channel for really banal stuff, like showing women in bikinis in his stock images. Just the other week, I saw a Sargon of Akkad video where he was defending banning people for hate speech against Muslims. Now, I don't know if he got a similar email that I got, notifying him that his videos were demonetized that mentioned Muslims. But I don't know. Maybe he was trying to do some damage control, trying to kind of lighten his image so that his videos weren't demonetized. Now, in Sargon of Akkad's case, YouTube is his job. You know, in my case, YouTube is not my job. I couldn't even support myself for a week with the money I make on YouTube. But it's something I enjoy doing, and I certainly don't appreciate being censored. But in my case, it doesn't really hurt me. Like, if a video doesn't get monetized and I lose a couple bucks, it's not going to make a huge difference to me. If I get a strike on my channel, whatever. If my channel gets shut down, I have all my videos on backup. It's not the end of the world. But someone like Sargon of Akkad, if his channel gets shut down, if his videos get demonetized, that could affect his livelihood. that could really screw his day up. So I don't blame him for kind of stepping back, thinking, okay, I got to do some damage control. I got to make sure this doesn't happen. But the problem is, again, it's the soft censorship. You're basically saying, yeah, you can make these videos that are controversial. You're just not going to get paid for it. So it's like a way of kind of nudging you to walk away from doing any videos about controversial subjects. Because, oh, you're not going to get paid for it. Why put all these hours of work into making this high quality video and you're not going to get paid anything for it? And I've also been following I Hate Everything's channel. And I really like I Hate Everything. I realize we don't agree on a lot of things politically, like he's an egalitarian and I'm very anti-egalitarian. But I really like his content and his sense of humor and stuff. So I support people even if I don't agree with everything they have to say. But he's had his own issues with YouTube. He had his channel just deleted out of the blue. And it was only because a lot of people knew about him and raised a fuss over it that he got his channel restored, and they didn't even give him the common courtesy of explaining why his channel was deleted in the first place. And in his latest video, he expresses disappointment with how all of this works, how content creators have no recourse. If someone at YouTube just decides to take your channel away, there's nothing you can do about it because YouTube has no viable competition. I mean, back when I started my channel, I started a mirror channel on Vimeo, and Vimeo is just as bad, if not worse, than YouTube, and you don't even get paid there. There really is no competition for YouTube. And without any competition, I think the only strategy we have as content creators to protect ourselves is to group together. So what I think a solution could be is to form a multi-channel network or join a multi-channel network which will have our back and protect our free speech. Now, one of the advantages of a multi-channel network is they find their own advertisers. So YouTube has their advertisers, your multi-channel network can get their own deals and their own advertising. And why that works is if YouTube says, you know what, we don't want your controversial videos on YouTube, we're going to demonetize your video. If you have some kind of advertising deal with your multi-channel network, you can still get advertising revenue from that. Now, there are a lot of channels on YouTube which are politically incorrect. And this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about YouTube using the power of their magic wand to take away your livelihood. It's going to shut these channels up and down. And they're going to either back off of talking about controversial subjects, they're going to self-regulate, or they're simply going to change their format completely or sell out, as a lot of people would call it. And I don't want to see that happen. I get that a lot of advertisers don't want their products to be associated with controversial or non-politically correct content providers. I get that. But here's the thing. If Fox News, talk radio, and right-wing websites can find advertisers, so can we. And I'm not insinuating that people who aren't politically correct, anti-feminist, or speak out about issues involving Muslims are all right-wingers. But generally, people who are anti-feminist or anti-Muslim tend to come more from the right. However, my point is, if these people can find advertisers, so can we. And if we find our own advertisers, then we don't have to worry about our videos being demonetized. We don't have to worry about our livelihoods being threatened. Now, not mine specifically, but people like Sargon of Akkad, where he does a controversial video, they demonetize it, and that's money out of his pocket. And he has a family to feed. So I don't know if there's a multi-channel network that already exists, if someone could recommend one. I get these spam emails from multi-channel networks all the time, and it's clear they're not familiar with my content at all. They're just sending me invites because I have a lot of subscribers according to their metrics. I would really like an MCN who's familiar with my content, who understands my needs, and doesn't shy away from controversy and non-PC speech to reach out to me. I would gladly join that multi-channel network. I want to join a group that supports and protects my free speech, that will go to bat for me with YouTube and stuff like that. We'll find like-minded content creators. We'll find advertisers willing to take a chance with a controversial platform. Sargon has a lot of subscribers. Thunderfoot has a lot of subscribers. You kind of cobble together this group of controversial, politically incorrect content creators. And we have a significant amount of pull as a group. And then we can kind of draw some advertising revenue through a multi-channel network. So that's my suggestion. That's how I think we solve this problem of soft censorship on YouTube, because it's only going to get worse. You know, I Hate Everything is just the beginning. Something's just seriously wrong with YouTube, and I think it's just the fact that they don't have any competition. And without that free market, without some sort of competition to keep YouTube on its toes, they're only going to get worse. So this is just my idea. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.